Hi, welcome to my complete Cerydra guide. Cerydra is the newest character coming in the second half of version 3.5. She's a super unique buffer looking to specifically buff some of the strongest DPSs in the game. This video will go through everything you need to know how to build and play Cerydra, covering her best Lycorns, Relic sets, Planar Ornaments, teams, and many more. Before we start, I'm giving away 2 supply passes / welcomes to my subscribers at 7k subs, so make sure to subscribe. First things first, what does Cerydra do? Cerydra is a wing unit following the path of harmony. Her skill selects a teammate as the military merit and grants 1 charge, capped out at 8 charges. When charge reaches 6, the selected unit gets cleansed, increased crit damage for their skill, increased alt-type res pen, and gets to repeat their skill. Her ultimate deals damage in AoE, gains 2 charges, and makes someone a skilled target if there is none. Her talent increases the attack of the skilled target while gaining a charge whenever they basic attack or skill, excluding their repeated skill. In addition, Cerydra also does additional damage together with the skilled allies' attacks, and her technique essentially just skills the ally that enters the fight. For bonus trace abilities, the first increases her crit damage for each 100 attack over 2000, capping out at 4000 attack. The second sets her crit rate to 100% and makes the skilled ally's ultimate also gain a charge. And the third increases the skilled ally's base speed and their basic attack / skill now also regenerate energy for her. For a bonus stat boost, she gains some wind damage bonus, attack, and HP, with HP being the only non-important one, and for a trace leveling priority, her skill is the utmost priority, with talent being next, then the rest can be leveled. Overall, Cerydra has a pretty simple kit. Everything about her is super focused on her skill, which basically grants a lot of buffs for the targeted ally, with the addition of repeating their skill every few turns. A super unique kit that provides some really special buffs like base speed, which is the first, and the ability to repeat their skill, which is first and foremost very cool and very fun. But also, being an attack skiller and having major traces that help with crit rate and crit damage also means that outside of buffing, her basic attack and ultimate should also do some meaningful damage as well. With a kit out of the way, we'll now move on to how to build her, starting off with Cerydra's best Lycorns. The obvious besting slot would be a signature Lycorn. This boasts an attack increase with a skill point recover after attacking with an ultimate, and skill damage increase for the skilled target. As you can tell, this is a dedicated Lycorn for her, with even the skill point gain locked behind an attacking ultimate, which other harmonies rarely have. So in addition with the attack buff and a skill damage up, this is a very strong Lycorn. However, a really strong free-to-play option is the newest event Lycorn, featuring just a simple massive attack buff, which truthfully is everything Cerydra really needs. Otherwise, the previous event Harmony Lycorn made for Robin is also quite good with Cerydra too, and of course, the classic Dance 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 being a great option as well. Moving on to Cerydra's best main stats and substats, starting with her stat Breakpoints. Her main stat goal is getting to that 4000 attack so that you can cap out her major trace. Although it does not provide anything as a buffer directly, her personal damage is meaningful as I mentioned before, and that her talent does buff attack depending on her own attack. So maxing out this major trace is your first priority. Then next, getting a good speed is ideal. Since she is not an action advancer and has no gimmicks with speed, getting as fast as possible is recommended, like 160 and over. Because at worst, if you can't skill, you can always use basic attack for skill points. Then getting some crit damage and some defensive stats will be fine. Disclaimer, she has an innate 100% crit rate, so therefore you should always try to avoid getting any of those in substats. So with all that being said, her best main stats are attack body, speed boost, attack orb, and energy rope. Body is attack as you need to reach that 4000, which is not that easy of a feat, but if you can reach it without body main stat, crit damage body is okay too. Boost is speed, as you should not need boots to be attack as well to reach 4000. Orb is attack too, but similarly to body, if you can reach 4k without main stats, feel free to use win percentage. And rope is energy recharge, as despite her ultimate being an attack, it also gains 2 charges, which is the most important part. Next up is Cerydra's best relic sets and Planar Ornaments. Her best relic set will be 4-piece Cerydra, as it provides some speed and crit damage buff to your skilled ally. Ideally, you'll be spamming skill on her, so stacking this crit damage should be pretty much free. But that being said though, if you are using a teammate with her that is already running Cerydra like Sunday, it is completely fine to use the other options, which speaking of, one of them is 2-piece attack / speed, with attack being the more important one to reach that 4k attack. But that being said, if you are completely good on substats, going 4-piece win set will be of course really good as well, especially for her as she is also a win unit, so she can also benefit from the 2-piece win damage bonus in addition to the action events. For her best Planar Ornaments, any of the energy sets will be her best, with Volvac and Lashaka being her best options, as the turn events is always super nice, and attack buff also being super nice as well. But Penacony is also a great option too if you're running a win DPS with her like Anaxa. Now for Cerydra's best Eidolons. E1 makes the skilled teammate ignore defense and gain energy whenever she skills them. E2 increases damage of a skilled target and herself. E4 increases ultimate damage, and E6 increases skilled target's all-type rest pen with her additional damage on her talent increased, and she now also gains some of that all-type rest pen as well. Overall, her Eidolons are super simple, just like her kit, but it is all super beneficial as it is all focused on either buffing her skilled ally or her ultimate nuke, with E1 being a super interesting one as the measly 2 energy actually means a whole stack for Phainon, which as you can probably guess by now, it is completely on purpose. So the age-old question of E1 versus S1, Eidolon 1 will be the winner this time. Despite her Lycon gaining attack for her breakpoints, skill point for comfort and skill damage for stronger buffs, defense ignore and energy / a whole stack for Phainon is usually more important. And additionally, Cerydra actually has a lot of Lycon options, so S1 is not even that important in terms of comfort of building. And last but not least, Cerydra's best teammates and teams. Before I get started on this section, remember I am only talking about her best teammates and teams, emphasis on the word best. Although there are plenty of more options than what I'm about to say for teams, they are either super hard to optimize or just not worth the effort entirely. So with that said, the teammates I want to mention for Cerydra are Phainon and Anaxa. If you have not realized already, Cerydra is a dedicated made support for Phainon. The obvious benefits are that she has an abundance of buffs for Phainon's main damage source, being his skill and the ability to repeat it, but the base speed increase and even her Eidolons further Phainon's power as a hyper carry, as base speed is the only way to increase the speed of Phainon's turns during his ultimate state. Anaxa is the other unit I want to mention, as well the obvious benefits he gets are a huge boost in skill damage, which is his main damage source. But what the repeating skill does to Anaxa is very interesting, as Anaxa is able to repeat his own skill in his kit. So what ends up happening is that we get a very interesting and a very short interaction, that is, when Anaxa skills a target he ulted, he repeats the skill, then Cerydra repeats that skill, which then repeats another skill, leading to 4 skills altogether, which as you can tell is very strong. So with that out of the way, Cerydra as of version 3.5 has 2 best teams. The first is Phainon Hyper Carry, featuring Phainon, Cerydra, Sunday, and a Flex. The Flex can be another support like Bronya, Rome, RMC, etc. for sustainless if your Phainon is built / invested well. Otherwise, a sustain like Huohuo or the upcoming Danheng Permansor Teray is ideal. And the second team is Anaxa Hyper Carry featuring Anaxa, Cerydra, Sunday, and a sustain. As you can tell, it is the exact same team, just a DPS swap. And the flex slot is also the same, just it's more likely you will be running a sustain like Huohuo or DHPT again, since sustainless is a bit harder with Anaxa, but of course, sustainless is an option too if you want to. So yeah, that does it for the Cerydra guide. Ignoring the obvious doom posting of Cerydra on the internet, I think that Cerydra is actually a pretty good character. Right now, there seems to be basically only 1 or 2 uses for Cerydra in the game, but even then I think it's fine. A character being super niche is completely fine, but she has 2 teams where she's the best in slot on, so I don't really see the problem. Maybe Sunday, Robin, and Tribby has made everyone believe that a support needs to be universal or else it's not good. But again, I digress. Anyways, I'm super excited for her release as it means Phainon will be probably played more, which I am more than happy to do since I do quite like his gameplay.